In August 1590, Governor John White stepped onto Roanoke Island after a 3-year absence. He had returned to reunite with his family, but the colony he helped establish was silent. The settlement was completely abandoned. Every house stood empty. White walked through the site and found no signs of struggle. There were no bodies, no graves, and no evidence of a massacre. Over 100 settlers had disappeared without leaving behind a single witness or any indication of where they had gone. In 1587, England looked to Roanoke as a strategic foothold in the New World, a permanent colony meant to challenge the growing power of Spain. This expedition was not a military outpost. It was comprised of families, 115 men, women, and children, seeking a future in North America. Among them were White's daughter Eleanor Dare and her newborn baby, Virginia Dare, the first English child born on the continent. With families and infants involved, the survival of the colony was no longer just a matter of geopolitics. It was a desperate humanitarian struggle. Within months, the settlers faced dwindling food supplies and escalating tensions. They convinced Governor White to return to England to secure a resupply. But after White reached England, war erupted. The Spanish Armada forced the Crown to freeze all civilian maritime travel, trapping White in Europe. The escalating conflict created an isolated vacuum, completely cutting Roanoke off from the rest of the world for 3 years. When White finally reached the island in 1590, he found that the colonial houses had been carefully dismantled. The lack of damage suggested that the departure was an organized, methodical withdrawal, rather than a panicked escape from an attack. Carved into a wooden post was the word CROATOAN. Nearby, the letters CRO were found on a tree. Before White left for England, the group established a protocol. If they were forced to leave due to immediate danger, they were to carve a cross symbol into the wood. White searched the settlement, but found no cross. The organized state of the town and the absence of a distress symbol pointed toward a calculated relocation. The word CROATOAN referred to Hatteras Island, the home of a friendly indigenous community. Given their lack of resources, the settlers likely relocated to Hatteras to integrate with the CROATOAN people. Historical reports from later centuries described indigenous tribes in the region with European features and traditions, suggesting the groups eventually merged. Without a supply line from England, joining a local, knowledgeable population was a necessary strategy for long-term survival. However, other evidence point toward a harsher reality. Tree rings reveal that the colony arrived during a severe drought, making the environment nearly uninhabitable. Desperate groups may have moved inland, but ultimately succumbed to starvation, disease, or conflict with hostile neighbors. It is also possible that Spanish forces discovered the outpost and secretly destroyed it. Because there is no definitive physical proof, historians must weigh a narrative of survival against the possibility of total annihilation. Modern archaeology is now uncovering evidence along the Carolina coast that was hidden for centuries. Digs on Hatteras Island have revealed 16th century European pottery and metal tools that likely belonged to the settlers. Near the Albemarle Sound, separate archaeological digs have found similar colonial artifacts, suggesting the original 115 settlers eventually split into multiple smaller groups. These artifacts indicate that some colonists survived for years after Governor White's departure. Yet, while these findings tell us where some settlers traveled, they cannot tell us the final fate of Virginia Dare and her family. Most historical events leave behind records or physical graves. Roanoke leaves a void. Roanoke remains a haunting mystery because it is a story without a recorded ending, a set of fragments still waiting to be connected beneath the shifting sands of North Carolina.